What's going on, guys? It is Saturday the 27th and I've got some good news. Our little family has just introduced our newest addition, Little Miss Kaya Marie Thomason. She was born yesterday at 5:45? 5:45? 10 to 6? 10 to 6. Mum's very happy. Everything went to plan. Everything was absolutely great. Support was awesome. Our little boy Cade is absolutely stoked to meet his sister today. They are still at the hospital, just getting some final checks before she comes home, just to make sure that the little one's feeding well. You just can't believe it when you're sort of there and you're watching it happen, and you think you've been through some hard times in life, and then you watch your partner go through things like this, and it just blows your mind. God damn, my phone keeps going off when I'm in the middle of talking. I apologize for that. It's actually Steph. As I was saying, the things that women go through to put life on this planet and give us men the special gift of having kids is just, it really is unreal. It makes me want to get a bit emotional talking about it. Sorry. Yeah, like I said, it's just when you got another child there and you introduce them to each other, it's really cool. It's just something that you can't explain it to people, but when you experience it, it hits something inside you that's just unreal. Anyway, I'm getting so soft. I swear to God, I never used to be like this when I was younger. When I was younger, I was actually, quite a hardened dude, but these days it's so different now. You just get softer, and these little guys come along, and he doesn't care right now because he's watching Star Wars. You gonna say what up? What up? It's been a really cool weekend. Quite an experience, that's for sure. But my whole topic of this conversation today, the whole reason why I thought that I'd do a bit of a chat, I had someone reach out and they had a few questions to ask, and I thought, perfect opportunity to do a bit of a video and answer some questions. I've never done it before. I obviously don't have a huge follower base, but for down the track, if there's people that do watch back at my videos and sort of want to delve a little bit more into my personal life and know the ins and outs of what it takes to train when you've got a family and you're trying to be competitive and stuff, it is pretty cool to have some questions there that some people can go back and watch. So yeah, I'll go through some questions and try and answer them as best, and as always, as honest as I can. Sometimes the honesty might be a little bit controversial, but I don't really care. This is how I think of things. It's how I do my life, and it's how me and my partner Steph live, and we're very happy where we are and what we're doing in our life, and everything's worked out the best that it possibly can for us so far. So we'll just keep doing us. Let's get into some questions, shall we? So question 1 is, do you notice a difference in your max heart rate between cycling and running? Is one lower than the other, or do you ever ride trying to stick to a heart rate, or do you just use watts instead? For me now in cycling, I use watts. Heart rate, when it comes to road cycling, it's almost sort of pointless. When you're in a race and you're in a bunch, you need to, break away or close a gap or pull a turn or whatever, you can't really stick to your heart rate. The bunch is potentially just going to go and they're going to drop you for dead. With road cycling, you sort of need to go by power. When I train now, even when I'm doing surges, I don't even really stick to a number. My surges are actually getting quite high. I'll have a number there, but I'll just go straight past it. And it's just to teach my body to feel that power and to know what that power is like. In triathlon, you're using more your heart rate. I think you're using more your heart rate anyway. You still look at your power, obviously. But it's more of a heart rate sort of base because you're trying to stick to a number and you're trying not to, you've still got your run to think about next. In road cycling, it's definitely more looking at your power. These days, I don't even use a heart rate monitor. I'm sort of slowly starting to ditch that actually. I do keep an eye on for those moments in races where, you know, I'll look at what sort of power I'm sort of peaking at, and I'll have a quick glance at what my heart rate's doing to see if I am at max heart rate. My heart rate max is the same as running. My max heart rate is normally at around that. You know, I can push it up to 180. That's dying for me. When I get to that 170 mark, that's where I don't really want to go too much above that because that sort of is around my max. But that's probably the answer to question 1. Question 2 is, do you think you'll ever jump back into triathlons one day? Without a doubt. Triathlon for me is not done. The way that I finished up with it was never how I envisioned me finishing up my triathlon, finishing up my triathlon time. I've got a lot to prove to myself in triathlon still. I do know a little bit about the sport now and about training and phases of training preparations and stuff. So I'd like to sort of put that to the test. Down the track, coaching is something that I do want to get into eventually. I also have a goal of getting a sub 4 hour 20, which I never did. My fastest was a 4:24 in a 70.3. I do want to break that. I think that I can get a 4:15 to be honest. Where that is, I don't know. West Sydney, I'd say. West Sydney's just a little bit more convenient for me and the family, I think, so that's probably where it would be. Depending on how the Amy's Grand Fondo goes in September, maybe I'll have a bit of a dabble in a 70.3 next year. I don't know. My wife is going to hate hearing that. If my son or daughter grew up and ever wanted to do triathlon as well, it would be a dream of mine to do one with them. Would be unreal. You know, I'll probably throw in some 2XUs just for a little bit of fun. I hate swimming though, like honestly. I can run pretty damn good. I can ride pretty well, but the swimming, I just hate swimming so much. I think the swimming, you know, even if I improve in the swim, I'm still not going to be a front mid-pack swimmer. I'm all the way at the back, dude. Like, yeah, it's definitely something that I've thought about, and it's definitely something that I know that I will do for sure. Question 3 is, what is the update on your job situation? So, to people that didn't see, I think it was one of my first couple videos, mentioned that I left my job. I was with a company for 15 years as a panel beater, worked very, very hard. And unfortunately, things didn't pan out as well as I would have liked with this particular company. Quite disappointing, but it is what it is. Shit happens. I encourage change. So to step out of comfort and to do something new is something that I encourage, which is why I gave my 4 weeks notice to this company and started looking for a new job, which I have got. Which I'm starting 27th of next month, which is July. It's a prestige company, so it's working on a lot of Mercedes, Audis, cars like this, which is awesome. This is a year full of new things and 100% embracing that, and I'm gonna enjoy the fresh start and yeah, something new. Question 4, how long does one YouTube video take to create? For me being a rookie, it takes ages. Like, I'm trying to work out a system where certain days I'm working on certain things. I can get a reel or 2 out of one long form video, awesome. I like to just try to chuck in a midweek video, a training session. I'm still trying to get the hang of things, obviously. It takes a few hours. At the end of the week, it's actually quite a few hours. It's probably too much for me to mention, to be honest, because it's almost embarrassing. You know, the whole thing that I'm very lucky and grateful to have is a partner that supports it. So if she wasn't for it, I wouldn't be doing it. I think that it's doing okay. Like, I think that my content is quite different to people out there. Found a style that is that is mine, and it's something that I'm going to be sticking with, which is just that raw sort of, training hard and family and no fancy cameras, just sort of what you see is what you get sort of content. And I'm going to be sticking to that, but it's just a matter of trying to find a system to cut back the hours, or if I can't cut them back, just do it later. If I need to stay up, I need to stay up. It is what it is. I don't know if that really answers the question, but it takes a few hours. What editing software do you use? I'm using CapCut. CapCut was recommended to me from my chiropractor, which has been really cool. I do everything on my phone too. I've got the new iPhone 17 Max Pro here, which is, I think, going to be a lot better for the editing stuff. I don't use any fancy cameras and things. I've got the Insta360 Go Ultra. I've got CapCut on my phone. I do all my editing and stuff on there. I will be learning how to use it on the laptop. I'm a bit, I don't really want to use that word because people will probably crack it at me. I'm not great on a laptop. For everybody, the phone just feels so much more natural. I do have a paid subscription with it, so just to get the extra little things, Yeah, I think it's okay. Is it okay? Let me know if it's okay, because I hope it's getting better. I think it's getting better. Anyway, question 6. After hard evening rides, do you struggle to fall asleep or can you sleep easily? What time do you usually finish up a ride at night? Good question. He knows that I ride at night. Another thing that people may not know is I hate training in the morning. I can't stand it. My body just does not want to go. I can sleep after a training session. After work, I crash, and I crash quite hard. I actually need to start eating something as I'm leaving work, eat it in the car or something, because I crash at around 5:30. I have to force myself to get on the bike after dinner. Once I start spinning the legs and get into it, I feel really good. And then after training, I feel great. I feel 100%. I wake up after training, but I'm not too awake that it disrupts my sleep. I find if I don't train, I can't sleep because I just start to get in my head a little bit too much. But when I train, it is after dinner. I do eat dinner with the family. I get on the bike at around 7:30, and then finish up 8:30, 9 o'clock. It depends on what sort of session. During the week, my sessions go for about an hour to an hour and a half. Again, if you've got a partner that understands you and your goals and supports them, there's no issue at all. It's just a matter of spending as much time with the family as you can. Question 7. What's your next event after the Gran Fondo? Pending results. All depends on the results. If I qualify for Worlds 2027, I will be saving money, a lot of money for that. I will be putting all my training back into that. If I don't qualify for that, maybe a 70.3. My passion is my bike. I love my bike. I'll just keep riding, building up that base and intensity training throughout the week and endurance rides and just go from there. I will have an event though planned, no matter, it could be a half marathon, it could be a 10K, 5K, a sprint, triathlon, it could be a road cycling event. Might go back to Tour de Brisbane if I don't qualify to get a spot for the year there. There's only 2 races that I can qualify for the UCI Gran Fondo World Championships. That's Tour de Brisbane and Amy's Gran Fondo. So it's one or the other. I do want to head back to Tour de Brisbane though, because my last race was absolutely shite. Perhaps we'll go back there. I'm not really answering the questions, am I? I'm just sort of rambling on. Question 8. How many hours per week do you plan to ride once the baby comes and later with the job? Another very good question. Another question that I don't know. I say I don't know because I don't know how things are going to be here with two kids. I will try to stick to as much of a routine as I can. I have spoken to my wife about changing training to the mornings. It's just something that I think I'm just going to have to do because I'm going to obviously be waking up every 3 hours and helping feed the baby. I'll even have her in the garage next to me in the bassinet while I'm training. This is just sort of the person that I am. I will do what it takes to make it work. Training for me, if I don't train, it's not good. I get depressed, and that's not funny. Like I genuinely do. I beat myself up. I don't like who I am. My wife doesn't like who I am. I need to train. I need to feel good physically and mentally. If that just means me sticking to my routine for an hour and a half a day, it is what it is. That's just what you got to do. Again, it's the same. It's the same thing that is the most important out of everything. Everybody says consistency is the most important thing. It's not. Fuck consistency. It's not the most important thing. Life balance comes before consistency. Without having life balance, there's no consistency. For me and my wife, it's going to be getting the baby back home, finding a routine, settling into our new life, and just adapting to it, working it out. If I need to train in the morning, I train in the morning. If I need to train later at night, I need to train later at night. If I can stick to the same routine, awesome. You just need to just make it work. To answer the question, I'll try my best to do the same hours and try not to change too much. The mistake that a lot of people make when they start training or when they are training, they try to change too many things that makes it unsustainable. It's like when a person starts a diet and they change it so dramatically, they can only sustain it for like 2 weeks, a month. Because you're changing it too much, you don't want to change it too much. You want to simplify everything to make it as easy as possible. So that's what we're going to be doing. We just need to just make it work and just adapt and just try new things. Again, I know that's a shit answer because it's not really answering the question, but it's one of those things that I'm not really going to know until the baby and Steph are home. And I start my job next month. So until then, I'm in holiday mode and enjoying every minute of it with the family. Question 9, do you ever miss family meals due to riding, especially when working? No. I do my best to miss as minimal as possible. The only time when I'll miss a dinner is when Steph says to me, go train now. If Steph says to me, go train now, I go train. If Steph says to me to do anything, I do it. I'll do anything for my wife. She is I don't know what the word is, but she's that person. If it's going to make things easier on her and the family and time, I'll answer to her. I'm also someone that is pretty strict on routine. I don't like things being out of time too much. If I get on the bike 30 minutes later, I go into a little bit of a frenzy in my brain. A little bit, yeah. I just like to have things planned, I guess. And if my plan and my routine's broken, it does throw a little bit of the spanner in the works for me. It is what it is. You just need to adapt to it, prioritize time, know your time, and know your session too. Like if you've got an hour and a half session, the day before you say to your partner, look, I've got this session to do. Maybe we can do this. That's what me and Steph do. We talk about it. I give her a heads up on what I'm doing and she'll say to me, what are you training tonight? And we work together as a team and we do a very good job at that. She's very used to me being like this. Me and Steph have been together for 16 years and she's seen me train every day for that time. I've been a kickboxer, gym junkie, triathlete, and a cyclist over that whole time. And she's used to me training. So I'm very lucky for that because that's been a big thing. She knows what I get like if I don't train and she knows what I get like when I do train. And she supports my goals and she supports who I am. And yeah, I think that's the thing that makes things a lot easier. Another good thing about training at night is my kids see it. A lot of people are like, get up nice and early in the morning and win the morning and this and that. And I'm all for that. I get that. I wish that I could do it. I will be trying to do it. I have noticed in my son, and he's turning 5, sees things. He sees me train. He asks about my medals. He knows how to ride a bike and he asks me where my aero bars are and you know, he's watching what I'm doing. And for me, that's so important for him to see that. For them down the track, they're going to remember that, oh, you know, when my dad had this goal, you know, he had to do this to achieve this. And, you know, when they get a little bit older and they go to school athletics days and they need to do a little bit of training because they've made it to zone and they want to make the top three, they know what it takes to get there. And because they've seen their dad do it. It's not even just about me either. Like, they've seen Steph support me, you know, which is another thing that they're learning. So that's a massive thing for me, and it always has been since we had Cade, was for him to see. I had him in a bouncer next to me when I was on the tri bike. There's actually a video that I'll post here as well, just in the top corner here so you can see, of Cade riding his bike next to me, and when I take a drink out of my bottle, he takes a drink out of his bottle. And it's just, those are the things that you're teaching them when you are training at night. They see that, and I don't know if that's worth sacrificing for time. You know, people say, oh, spend time with your kids. That is spending time with your kids. You're teaching them a lesson. And, you know, for Cade, he loves riding next to me on his bike. So I don't know, again, might be controversial, but yeah, that's how we do things here. I got one more question here. Why create content? Why create content? When I started training triathlon, I shared a lot of my data, photos, training sessions, races. I've always been into it. I've always loved to share what I'm doing. I know where it comes from. I know that it comes from a negative side of my childhood. A lot of people may think that it's arrogant or that I'm showing off. Everybody can see on this channel that I'm actually not an arrogant person. I'm not a show off at all. I'm very, very humble. I do love to show progress and show stages of where you were to where you are and to where you're going. It's awesome for people to see. I love seeing it. I love seeing people get better. I love helping people. I love when people reach out and ask for help. I love when people say good work. There's not enough of that in the world. So for you to say good work to someone or well done, it can go a long way. So, you know, if a post can inspire someone to do better or whatever, I'm all for it. If people want to look at posts in a negative way or a positive way, then that's up to them. But I've always loved photos. I love taking photos. I love taking videos. That could be a job for me. Like, I love it that much. The whole creating thing, I've always been into creating. I've always been into art. I've always been into customizing. People that know me know that. I love customizing things, whether it's putting bleach over a jumper to make your own sort of look, customizing your own tattoos. Yeah, I drew my own tribal tattoo. It's tribal, it's shit. But I drew it when I was 16. I've always been into creating things. I also have known people that do YouTube, are quite good at it, and I've always envied that. I wouldn't say jealous. Like I said, I've always loved creating, and to see people creating things and getting better at it and having support, which I mentioned before, that's an awesome thing. And I was always envious of that. And I remember saying to a mate of mine, I wish that I could do it, but I'm too old to do it. Here we are, 2026, and I'm turning 37 years old, and I'm starting a YouTube and an Instagram account. It might be cringe in 2026, but we are in a time where age doesn't really matter. I don't feel like I'm getting old or too old to do this. I don't think that I'm that bad at it as well. I think that you just get better at it. So I think that's why. I think that's why I'm doing it. For me to look back at it as well, for my kids to look back at it. Starting cycling gave me an opportunity to do it too. Starting fresh with just cycling, it was just a perfect time to be like, you know what, stuff it. I'm going to try this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to give it my best shot and see how it goes. And I think it's going okay. Like, I'm not in a hurry for followers. I'll stand my ground on the authenticity and just believe that over time, the people that are into this sort of content and this sort of style will follow it. There's no trends here. There's no following or copying anyone else's sort of style. There's people that I admire. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. There's some good questions there. We'll definitely do this a little bit more down the track. It's been cool to answer some questions. It's fun. If there's anyone else out there that wants to ask some questions or know anything or whatever, send me a message, send me a comment, follow along, and yeah, let's do this again sometime. It's been fun. Take it easy, guys. Thank you.